Hello. We're going to proceed with Barron's Essential Words for IELTS, Unit 7, Text 3. On the left-hand side, we have a text, global outsourcing, and on the right-hand side, we have questions related to this text. Let's read as a task. Answer the question about global outsourcing. Questions 1 to 7. Complete the summary using words from the list below. So let's read the text and let's try to find answers to these questions. Missed words. And we have these missed words below the text. So let's read the text. Outsourcing is very common in today's global economy. A preponderance of companies in something nations send work to countries where wages are lower. So they will say about companies in some kind of nations send work to countries where wages are lower. They was just saying about countries and where wages, salaries are lower. So this is going to be our keywords. So let's scan the text and let's try to find any information about wages. Synonym is salary. And we quickly scan the text and try to find the information here. So here in the first paragraph, there is no information about salary, wages, like about money, nothing else. And then we go further to the second paragraph, where they were saying some about labor cost. And they were mentioning here about the money. So let's highlight this word and let's read this sentence. Wealthy nations routinely send all types of work to countries where labor costs are cheaper, but currently the most frequently outsourced jobs are in information technology, IT, software, and customer service. So basically they are saying about wealthy nations that they are sending all types of work to countries where labor cost is cheaper. And here in the sentence it says a preponderance of companies in wealthy nations send work to countries where wages are lower. So the answer to the first question is going to be wealthy. Let's highlight our answer so we can just not to be distracted with this word, and we will not use this word in the second and following questions. We go further. Let's see the following sentence. These countries are something to large companies because labor costs are cheap. They were just saying about labor cost is cheap. These companies goes to this labor cost as cheap. So they were saying about these countries and about the price, but we don't have any information about that in this paragraph. So we go further and we try to find the information here in the following text. And they don't say anything about labor cost here. And in the last paragraph they were saying about wages, which is our salary. And let's read this sentence. Once wages rise high enough in India and China, foreign workers somewhere else will be as enticing to outstanding countries as India and China now are to Europe, Japan, and the United States. So these countries are enticing to large companies, which are in outsourcing countries. So the answer to the second question is going to be enticing. So let's highlight it here. So we go further. Because English is a language used by a large number of international corporations, a large percentage of outsourcing work has gone to India, and there has been sent to other countries. So they were saying about a large percentage of outsourcing work and about India. So we have to find any information about the percentage and India. So let's read the text. Let's scan the text, and let's try to find any information about about India and about a percentage. So we don't have the information here. We didn't have it here, and we go further and we scan and we try to find any information about India here. So here they were just saying about outsourcing job and about India. Here there's a lot of people speak English as their first language, and they were saying about a quarter, which is basically they just superseded. They were just basically using, instead of the large percentage of outsourcing work, they were saying a quarter. So let's read these both sentences, and let's see the picture, and let's try to understand what exactly they were saying. As a preponderance of corporations conduct business in English, the bulk of outsourcing jobs in recent decades have gone to India, where its status as a former British colony resulted in millions of people speaking English as a first language. But half of India's outsourcing work comes from the United States, with about a quarter from European countries, and the remainder from countries such as Japan and Australia. So here, because English is a language used by a large number of international corporations, a large percentage of outsourcing work has gone to India, and a quarter. So it just says reminder has been sent to other countries. And as a reminder from countries such as Japan and Australia are other countries. So compared to India, so the answer to the third question is going to be reminder. So let's highlight it here as well, and we go further. Now wages are rising in India, and more outsourcing work is being sent to other countries. So proponents of outsourcing point out that, as well as being beneficial to the outsourcing companies, it is also a major to the economies of receiving countries. So we're gonna highlight our keywords. So they were saying about outsourcing work and outsourcing point. Outsourcing is also a major to economies of receiving countries. It's about one economy, so it affects an economy. So we are gonna find any information about this outsourcing and about economy. So this is our keywords, and we have to find this economy, any information about economy here. We didn't have it before here. We scan further and we try to find any information about economy here. So here in these paragraphs they were saying about something about economy, Let's read this sentence. Outsourcing has long been a source of controversy, with opponents pointing to the loss of jobs and the damage to the economy in the home country, and the proponents viewing the saving of labor costs as a boon to business. What it became? So it became a boon to the business. So it is also a major boon to the economies of receiving countries. It became a boon to the business. So our answer to the first question is going to be boon. And then we go further. Outsourcing companies, some disadvantages, however. For example, there is sometimes a higher, okay, it's a following question. So we say about outsourcing companies, and then we're gonna highlight this keyword and try to find this information here about outsourcing companies. So there were some information here about the outsourcing companies, and here in this paragraph there is also information about outsource, and here we have outsource firms, which is outsourcing company, which is synonym to our outsourcing companies word, outsourcing firms. So let's read this sentence. Some of the larger outsourcing firms in the world have headquarters in India, however, confronted with increasing demand, a looming shortage of skilled workers, and rising wages at home as the Indian economy grows, some of those outsourcing companies are now turning to other countries to help meet their own staffing needs. So they confronted. So also here they're saying contradiction, like however. So answer to the fifth question is going to be confront, and then we go further. So for example, there is sometimes a higher something of employees who aren't always happy with nighttime work schedule. So about employees keywords and nighttime work schedules. So we scan further and we try to find any information about nighttime work, and when we go further we have some information about employees, and let's read this. And the night shifts, basically it's nighttime work. And let's read this sentence. Staff turnover can be higher when employees have to work long night shifts to coincide with the business day in the outsourcing country. So this is staff turnover. So answer to the sixth question is going to be turnover, because it's a high turnover of employees. So let's highlight our answer and let's go further. Labor costs are rising in India and China. When costs in the countries start to something with the cost in wealthy countries, companies will start sending their work to other places. So it's saying about sending to other places and about the cost. And let's scan it further and let's try to find information about the wages, about the cost. So there is information about wages and about, they were just saying about India and China basically. And here in the following paragraphs they were saying about India and China. Let's read this sentence. India remains the outsourcing epicenter for now, with China slowly catching up with the situation will continue to change. Once wages rise high enough in India and China, foreign workers somewhere else will be as enticing to outsourcing countries as India and China now are to Europe, Japan, and the United States. So they were catching up. Countries start to catch up with costs in the wealthy countries. So answer is going to be catch up. As you can see, we can't miss one sentence which doesn't have any missed words. We have to read all of them because as you can see, this is one sentence, this is two sentences, but basically they are the same. And we have to be very careful and highlight keywords even in the previous sentence in order to get the answer. So be very careful with that. And in this task, as you can see, the answers are not step by step, and they are not follow each other, and they are at the different parts of the text. And sometimes it happens that answer to the last question could be in the first paragraph or at the beginning of the text. It's very tricky test, and you have to be very careful with that. So have a good time. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna publish more videos to train you guys to help to pass IELTS exam. Good luck with your IELTS exam. Have a good day. Bye.